Welcome back to Healthy Aging Bites, the channel where we walk alongside you through the golden years, sharing powerful tips to help you stay healthy, live longer, and enjoy every single day after 60 with purpose and joy. Growing older comes with a unique set of questions. How do I keep my heart strong? How do I stay energized enough to keep up with my grandkids? How can I wake up each morning feeling light, positive, and not weighed down by medications or worries about my health? Have you ever wondered how some people, even heart surgeons with decades of high-stress careers, manage to live to 99 or even 104, staying mentally sharp and physically active? What's their secret to keeping a youthful heart well into their 90s and beyond? Is it some kind of miracle pill? A rare genetic gift? Or is it something surprisingly simple, like one thing they choose to eat every single day? In today's video, we're diving into the real-life habits of 3 world-renowned heart surgeons, men who didn't just heal others, but practiced what they preached and took exceptional care of their own hearts. You'll meet Dr. Leo Bourgarit, who starts every morning with a warm glass of water and a smile in the mirror, believing it sets the tone for a healthy day. Dr. Michael DeBakey, who eliminated butter and fatty meats from his meals and walked to work every day well into his 90s. And Dr. Ellsworth Wareham, who switched to a plant-based diet at age 50 and lived independently, gardening and driving himself well into his hundreds. The title of today's video might have caught your eye. I eat this every day, and I recommend you do too. And yes, some foods really do have the power to protect your heart. But let's be clear, there's no magic food that guarantees longevity. Heart health is a system, a lifestyle. It's what you eat, how you move, how you manage stress, and the small daily habits that quietly shape the strength of your heart over time. So, if you're looking for a miracle shortcut, we don't have one. But if you're looking for a practical, science-backed, and deeply inspiring guide to aging with vitality, then this video is exactly what you've been looking for. Before we dive into these stories, insights, and lifelong lessons from doctors who lived what they taught, we have one small favor to ask. If you find value in this content, please give this video a like, share it with your loved ones, and don't forget to subscribe to Healthy Aging Bites. Your support helps us continue to bring you more meaningful, heart-centered videos like this one. Now, let's begin this journey together, discovering the morning habits and lifestyle choices that just might help you live stronger, longer, and with more joy in every beat of your heart. Live 2 days in 1. The power of waking up early. What if I told you that waking up early could help you live twice as much in a single day? That's exactly how Dr. Leo Bourgarit described his decades-long habit of rising early. A renowned cardiac surgeon who carried the weight of life and death decisions every day, Dr. Bourgarit firmly believed that early mornings were the foundation for his energy, clarity, and longevity. For him, mornings weren't just about being productive. They were sacred. A chance to breathe, move, think clearly, and begin the day with purpose. He liked to joke, "Those who rise early get to live 2 days in 1. But beneath the humor was a deep truth. Waking up early gave him time others often wasted in bed. Dr. Bourgarit's morning usually began between 6 o'clock and 7 a.m., not at the demand of work, but by choice. He believed that mornings hold a kind of quiet power, a space before the world rushes in, where the body and mind can align. But he also made one thing very clear. Waking up early only works if you sleep well the night before. He wasn't a fan of burning the midnight oil. Instead, he recommended going to bed no later than 10:30 p.m. As he put it, you can't enjoy the gifts of the morning if your body hasn't had time to recover overnight. In fact, lack of sleep has been linked to higher blood pressure, irregular heart rhythms, and increased inflammation, all dangerous for anyone, especially those over 60. But waking early isn't just about discipline. It's about creating space. Space to move your body, sip water slowly, eat mindfully, stretch gently, or simply sit in silence and think. That space, free of stress and noise, can improve your mood, your blood circulation, and even your outlook on aging. I remember working with a man named Harold, 70, who used to sleep in until 9:30 a.m., then spend the rest of the morning rushing to catch up. His blood pressure would spike by late morning, and he often skipped breakfast. After learning about Dr. Boccaria's morning habits, Harold decided to make a shift, slowly. First, he began waking up 15 minutes earlier each week, gradually moving back his bedtime. Within a month, he was waking up at 6:30 a.m. He started his mornings with warm water, light stretching, and quiet reading. The result? His blood pressure stabilized. He said he felt less behind, more in control, and actually looked forward to mornings. What Harold and so many others discovered is that early rising isn't just a clock change, it's a mindset. It's choosing to greet the day instead of reacting to it. For those of us over 60, mornings can be our greatest ally if we choose to respect them. Early rising gives our body time to ease into motion, our heart time to adjust its rhythm, and our minds a chance to set intention before distractions creep in. And best of all, it doesn't cost a dime. So if you're looking for a place to start here. Tonight, turn off your screens a little earlier. Lower the lights. Go to bed with the intention of rising to a day that's yours. Not rushed, not reactive, but full of calm momentum. Then, wake with purpose. Breathe, stretch, smile, drink water, begin again. Because maybe Dr. Boccaria was right. Maybe those who rise early really do get to live 2 days in one. Start with warm water, the easiest heart habit you'll ever try. Before coffee, before breakfast, before even brushing your teeth, start your day with a glass of warm water. This one small action, according to Dr. Leo Boccaria, has the power to support your heart, improve circulation, and gently wake up your entire body. And here's the best part. It takes less than 60 seconds, costs nothing, and requires no extra effort, just awareness and consistency. Dr. Boccaria always kept a glass of water on his nightstand. As soon as he woke up, he sat up slowly and took a few sips, not cold, not hot, just comfortably warm. Why? Because after 6 to 8 hours of sleep, our bodies are slightly dehydrated, even if we don't feel thirsty. And when you're over 60, dehydration isn't something to take lightly. As we age, our sense of thirst naturally weakens. That means our bodies can be running low on water without any obvious warning signs. And when we're even slightly dehydrated, blood becomes thicker, circulation slows down, and the heart has to work harder to do its job. Imagine your heart having to push syrup instead of water through your veins. That's the strain dehydration can cause, especially first thing in the morning. But a warm glass of water first thing in the morning changes that. It helps thin the blood just enough to ease the heart's workload, support kidney and liver function, and even kickstart digestion. Many people also find that drinking water before breakfast reduces cravings, improves bowel movements, and creates a small but powerful sense of calm. I had a client, Linda, age 68, who struggled with occasional dizziness in the morning. She assumed it was part of getting older. But after learning about Dr. Boccaria's warm water habit, she gave it a try. Within just 1 week of drinking a full glass of warm water, as soon as she woke up, her lightheadedness disappeared. Her digestion improved, and she said she felt cleaner inside and more alert throughout the day. There's even science behind this. Warm water helps relax blood vessels, improve circulation to muscles and organs, and gently stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, our body's natural rest and digest response. It's the opposite of the adrenaline jolt we often get from coffee on an empty stomach, which can sometimes spike heart rate and irritate the stomach lining. That's not to say you have to give up coffee forever, but start with water. Give your heart and your gut a moment to wake up slowly and smoothly before you give them caffeine or food to process. So how can you build this habit? It's simple. Fill a small glass of water before bed and place it on your nightstand. When you wake up, sit up slowly and take your first sips before doing anything else. Aim for 6-8 ounces, about half a standard bottle. Add a slice of lemon if you'd like to support digestion or enjoy a little flavor. And remember, small habits like this compound over time. You might not feel a dramatic difference after one morning, but give it a week, a month, a season, and your body will thank you. Because the heart loves rhythm. It thrives on predictability. And something as humble as a warm glass of water at sunrise might just be the gentle ritual your heart has been quietly craving all along. Gentle morning movement. Wake up your body. Brighten your mood. No, you don't have to train like an athlete. You don't need fancy equipment, expensive gym memberships, or high-impact workouts. According to heart surgeon Dr. Leo Bocaria, the key to lifelong vitality isn't extreme exercise, it's consistent, gentle movement, especially in the morning. For Dr. Bocaria, a few minutes of stretching after waking up was just as essential as breakfast or brushing his teeth. It wasn't about burning calories or building muscle. It was about telling the body, it's time to live today. And when you're over 60, that signal is even more important. As we age, our joints stiffen overnight, our circulation slows while we sleep, and our muscles lose elasticity if they stay inactive for too long. That's why moving in the morning isn't optional, it's essential. It's a gentle nudge to your heart, your brain, and your entire nervous system saying, let's get going slowly, but with purpose. Start with just 5 minutes. Stand beside your bed. Roll your shoulders backward. Stretch your arms up overhead and gently bend side to side. Circle your ankles, your wrists. Take 3 deep breaths, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Even this simple routine gets blood flowing, reduces morning stiffness, and helps wake up not just the body, but also the mind. Dr. Bocaria and Dr. Michael DeBakey, both world-famous surgeons, practice this daily. DeBakey, who lived to be 99 and worked deep into his 90s, would do short morning routines that included pull-ups, squats, and body stretches, but always within his comfort level. His goal wasn't to look younger. It was to stay functional, sharp, and independent. I once worked with a retired nurse named Cheryl, 71 years old. She'd stopped doing morning stretches years ago, saying she just didn't have the energy. But her energy wasn't coming back because her body wasn't getting the signal to wake up properly. I introduced her to a simple 7-minute stretching routine to follow every morning. Within 2 weeks, she reported more energy, better balance, and less stiffness in her knees and hips. But what surprised her most? Her mood. I didn't expect it to help my mind feel this good, she told me. That's no coincidence. Gentle movement, especially in the morning, triggers the release of endorphins, the body's natural feel-good chemicals. These help regulate mood, reduce anxiety, and sharpen focus. And unlike coffee or sugar, the benefits last longer and don't come with a crash. For older adults, this is a game changer. Because we don't just want longer lives, we want better mornings. We want to start the day with less pain, more confidence, and a sense of control over our bodies. So don't overthink it. You don't need a perfect plan or workout gear. You just need to begin with small, loving movements that tell your heart, I'm here, I'm ready, let's move forward today. Try this tomorrow morning. Stretch your arms. Twist gently at the waist. Flex and extend your feet. Smile. We'll get to that in the next section. Because you don't have to be in a gym to be active. You just have to show up for your body with kindness every morning. Smile at yourself in the mirror. A surprising boost for heart and mind. It might sound silly, even a little awkward. But Dr. Leo Bocaria, a man who performed thousands of heart surgeries and lived a long, vibrant life, believed in it wholeheartedly. Every morning, after stretching and drinking water, look in the mirror and smile at yourself. Not for anyone else, not for a photo, not to prove anything, just a smile for you. Why? Because that one small act does something remarkable. It signals your brain to shift into a positive, hopeful state, even if you woke up tired, stressed, or unsure about the day ahead. Dr. Bocaria wasn't quoting psychology journals when he gave this advice. He was speaking from decades of experience, both in science and in life. He understood what modern research has since confirmed. When you engage your facial muscles to smile, Your brain interprets it as a cue to release happy hormones like serotonin, dopamine, and endorphins. You don't even have to feel happy to start the process. In fact, that's the beauty of it. The action creates the emotion. And when you're over 60, managing health, memories, transitions, and uncertainties, having a simple, consistent way to lift your emotional state naturally is priceless. I remember a woman named Doris, age 74, who came to one of our healthy aging workshops. She'd lost her husband 2 years earlier and told me, "I haven't smiled at myself in a long time." She was still sharp, physically active, even cooking for herself, but her spirit felt muted. I asked her to try just one thing that week. Every morning, after brushing her teeth, look into her own eyes in the mirror and smile. Not to fake joy, but to acknowledge herself, her resilience, and the fact that she was still here, still standing, still living. She came back the next week with tears in her eyes and said, "I cried the first time, but by the third day, I smiled back at myself, and it felt real. It reminded me I'm still worth showing up for." That's the power of a smile, not the one we give others, but the one we give ourselves. It softens self-judgment. It calms the nervous system. And yes, it supports heart health by reducing stress, lowering blood pressure, and improving overall emotional balance. You don't need a mirror lined with affirmations or a perfectly lit bathroom. You just need a moment of presence. Tomorrow morning, stand in front of your mirror. Look yourself in the eye. Smile not because everything's perfect, but because you're showing up. And in that smile, let your heart know, "I'm grateful for another day. I'm ready to live it fully." Because taking care of your heart doesn't always mean medicine, diets, or exercise. Sometimes it means kindness. Sometimes it starts with a smile. A hearty breakfast, fuel for a strong, steady day. For decades, Dr. Leo Bocaria treated one of the most vital organs in the human body, yet he believed that heart health didn't begin in the operating room. It began at the breakfast table. In his eyes, breakfast wasn't optional. It wasn't just a quick bite or something to skip when life got busy. Breakfast was a non-negotiable ritual, the foundation of a balanced body and a steady mind. And science agrees. When you eat a nourishing meal within the first hour or two after waking, you're not just satisfying hunger, you're giving your heart and brain the fuel they need to perform, repair, and thrive for the rest of the day. Especially for adults over 60, whose metabolism, energy production, and blood sugar stability all become more sensitive with age, a well-composed breakfast can make all the difference. So what did Dr. Bocaria recommend? His go-to ingredients were simple, natural, and rich in nutrients. Oatmeal to stabilize blood sugar and keep hunger at bay. Fresh fruit for fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants. Boiled eggs or cottage cheese for protein. High-quality butter in small amounts for healthy fat and satiety. It wasn't about counting calories. It was about giving the body what it actually needed. Contrast that with the typical rushed American breakfast coffee on an empty stomach, a donut or pastry, or worse, nothing at all. These habits cause blood sugar spikes and crashes, irritate the stomach lining, and put unnecessary pressure on your heart first thing in the morning. Dr. Bocaria cautioned especially against coffee without food, warning that it can overstimulate the nervous system and cause issues like gastritis, ulcers, or sudden changes in blood pressure. While coffee itself isn't the villain, timing and context matter. He always advised having it after breakfast, not before. I once worked with a man named Eugene, 69, who insisted he wasn't hungry in the morning. He skipped breakfast for years and relied on 2 cups of coffee to get going. But by mid-morning, he felt jittery, had poor focus, and often needed something sugary to feel normal again. His blood pressure and energy levels were all over the place. When I introduced him to Dr. Bocaria's philosophy, he resisted at first, but he agreed to try just a small bowl of oatmeal with sliced banana and a boiled egg each morning, nothing fancy. After 2 weeks, Eugene told me, "I haven't felt this steady in years." His energy leveled out, his cravings disappeared, And surprisingly, he even started sleeping better, because what you eat in the morning affects how you rest at night. The heart loves rhythm, stability, and gentle support. Skipping breakfast or eating sugary, empty meals throws off that rhythm and creates stress the body doesn't need, especially as we age. So if you want to give your heart the best possible start each day, think of breakfast not as a chore, but as a gift. It doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be real. Whole grains, healthy fats, lean protein, something colorful from the earth. Sit down, eat slowly, savor the quiet. This is your fuel for the hours ahead, not just physically, but emotionally too. Because a good breakfast is a message to your body that you're ready to live today with energy, clarity, and care. Balanced eating. Why moderation beats extreme dieting. After 60. If you've ever tried cutting out entire food groups, counting every calorie, or surviving on nothing but salad and soup, you're not alone. As we get older, many of us become more health conscious, and that's a good thing. But Dr. Leo Bocaria had a different approach to food, one rooted in long-term health, not short-term fear. His secret? Moderation, not restriction, not perfection, not extremes. Unlike many health experts who promote strict diets or rigid rules, Dr. Bocaria believed that food should support your life, not control it. He wasn't trying to eat clean for a few weeks. She was crafting habits he could maintain for decades, and clearly it worked. He experimented with different styles of eating in his younger years. At one point, he followed a version of the Kremlin diet, which focused on removing heavy, hard-to-digest foods like refined sugar, excess salt, and fried meats. Instead of banning everything, he gently adjusted what he ate based on how his body responded. He chose to boil meats and fish instead of frying. He reduced flour-based foods but still enjoyed grains like oats and buckwheat. He avoided processed sugar for years but later allowed himself small squares of 90% dark chocolate when he learned it could help lower blood pressure. In other words, he was flexible. He wasn't on a diet, was in a relationship with his food. That kind of mindset is especially important after 60, when the goal shifts from fitting into clothes to staying independent, energized, and free from chronic conditions. It's not about deprivation, it's about nourishment, rhythm, and joy. I once worked with a woman named Gloria, 72, who had tried every diet under the sun: keto, low-fat, juice cleanses. She was frustrated, tired, and felt like she was at war with her meals. Together, we stepped back. We simplified. She began focusing on real food: lean proteins, fresh vegetables, whole grains, fruit, and healthy fats. More importantly, she let go of guilt. She allowed herself the occasional sweet or glass of wine without shame. And guess what? Her digestion improved. Her weight stabilized. Her energy returned. What Dr. Bocaria would say is this: you don't need a perfect diet, you need a peaceful one. He encouraged focusing on foods that give more than they take. Proteins like fish, eggs, cottage cheese, fresh fruits and vegetables. A touch of honey when you crave something sweet. And yes, the occasional indulgent stone with presence and joy. Because food is more than nutrients. It's memory, tradition, comfort, culture. It's the Sunday soup you make for your grandkids, or the favorite tea you share with a friend. And when we eat with respect for our bodies, our history, and our future, we create balance, not just in our meals, but in our lives. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by food rules, or tired of trying to get it right, here's the truth. You already have what it takes. Eat mostly whole foods. Listen to your body. Don't eat too much. Don't eat too little. And above all, let food become a source of fear. Your heart doesn't need perfection. It needs consistency. It needs nourishment. It needs you, treating yourself with patience, care, and even pleasure. Daily walking, the most powerful and free medicine for your heart. If there's one habit that every long-living heart doctor swore by: its walking. Not sprinting, not cycling miles a day, not weightlifting, just plain, simple, steady walking. Dr. Michael DeBakey, one of the most celebrated heart surgeons in the world, considered walking to be the single most important daily practice for protecting your heart and extending your life. He didn't just recommend it, lived it. Even into his 90s, he walked to work. That's right, a world-renowned surgeon, still taking steps to his office, long after many his age had retired. Why walking? Because it's low impact, accessible, and deeply effective. It's gentle on the joints, easy on the lungs, and incredibly beneficial for the circulatory system. Walking improves blood flow to the heart and brain, blood pressure regulation, blood sugar stability, mood, memory, and even digestion. In fact, studies have shown that walking just 30 minutes a day can lower your risk of heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and even dementia. It's often referred to as the best-kept secret in preventive medicine. But Dr. DeBakey added one key detail: vary your pace. He advised alternating between slower steps and brisker strides. Why? Because that gentle change in rhythm activates the vascular system more efficiently. It encourages your blood vessels to expand and contract, like a healthy workout for your circulatory system without overexerting your heart. I once coached a retired postal worker named Frank, 76, who said, "I already walked enough in my life." He hadn't exercised in years and didn't see the point of just walking. But when he started doing 15-minute walks around his neighborhood each morning at a comfortable pace, energy came back. He said it best: "I feel like I reconnected with my body again. It's like I shook hands with my own heart." And that's exactly what walking does. It's a way of staying in relationship with your body, showing up every day with a gentle, steady rhythm that says, "I'm still here. I still care." Walking is also one of the best ways to manage stress, something Dr. DeBakey believed was far more dangerous than cholesterol. He encouraged his patients to get outside, breathe fresh air, notice the trees, the sky, the life around them, because a peaceful mind means a more peaceful heart. You don't need a pedometer or fancy sneakers. You don't even need to go far. Just a daily stroll, whether it's around the block, to the mailbox and back, or through your favorite park, can be one of the most healing choices you make every single day. And the best part? It's never too late to start. Whether you're 60, 70, 80, or beyond, your body still responds to movement. Your heart still welcomes every step. And your spirit? It will thank you for coming outside to walk with it again. Managing stress, more critical than lowering cholesterol. Ask most people what causes heart disease, and they'll likely say cholesterol. And yes, cholesterol matters. But if you ask Dr. Michael DeBakey, the legendary heart surgeon who pioneered countless life-saving procedures, he'd tell you something surprising. The real enemy of the heart isn't cholesterol, it's stress. Coming from a man who lived to be 99 while handling some of the most intense pressure imaginable, that's not just a theory. It's a truth grounded in decades of observation, both in the operating room and in daily life. Here's what stress does. It triggers your body's fight or flight system. Your heart rate speeds up, your blood vessels constrict, your blood pressure rises. Cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, floods your system, making it harder to regulate inflammation, blood sugar, and digestion. And over time, this constant state of alarm wears down your heart, leaving it vulnerable even if you eat all the right foods. Dr. DeBakey understood that people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s often face stress that isn't talked about enough. The loss of a spouse or close friend, retirement, and the loss of purpose, loneliness or isolation, worrying about health, finances, or family, simply feeling like the world is moving too fast. But instead of ignoring stressor, letting it take over, he encouraged patients to find gentle, consistent ways to release it. For him, one of the best remedies was laughter. That's right, laughter. Even well into his 90s, Dr. DeBakey would watch old comedies, light-hearted television shows, and classic films that made him smile. He believed laughter was not just enjoyable, it was therapeutic, a true cardiac tonic. And science agrees. Laughter triggers the release of endorphins, lowers cortisol levels, relaxes the muscles, and can even improve the elasticity of blood vessels, helping your blood flow more freely. Another stress buster Dr. DeBakey embraced was staying engaged. He kept giving lectures, mentoring young doctors, and remaining active in the medical community. When people retire and suddenly stop doing what they love, he once said, that's when their health starts to decline. The heart needs a reason to keep going. I once worked with a retired teacher named Martha, 74. After retirement, she found herself watching television all day, feeling more anxious and disconnected than ever. Her blood pressure spiked, her mood declined, and even her sleep was affected. We talked about stress, not just external, but emotional. Together, she started walking with a neighbor twice a week, joined a community garden, and made time to listen to her favorite music every morning. 6 weeks later, her doctor saw measurable improvements in her heart rate and blood pressure. But more importantly, Martha felt alive again. So how can you manage stress in your own life? Try what worked for DeBakey and so many others. Watch something that makes you laugh. Listen to soothing music. Call a friend for a real conversation. Take a slow walk and leave your phone behind. Do a puzzle, paint, or write in a journal. Spend time in nature, your backyard counts. And if you can, do something that gives you purpose. Volunteer. Mentor someone younger. Teach your grandchild a recipe. Share your story. Because purpose is like oxygen for the heart. When you wake up with something to care about, stress naturally begins to loosen its grip. Dr. DeBakey used to say, I do everything so that my heart works without problems. That means staying busy, staying curious, and staying grateful. Let that be your goal too. Not to eliminate stress completely, because life will always bring challenges, but to respond to it in ways that keep your heart light, your mind calm, and your spirit strong. The power of a plant-based diet, keeping arteries clean and the brain sharp. If you had asked Dr. Ellsworth Wareham the secret to living past 100 with a strong heart and a clear mind, he would have smiled and pointed to his plate. At age 50, after years of performing open-heart surgeries, he made a life-changing decision. He gave up animal products and embraced a plant-based diet, not because of a trend, not to lose weight, but because of what he saw with his own eyes. As a cardiac surgeon, he had opened thousands of chests and examined just as many arteries. The difference, he said, was night and day. Patients who ate mostly plants had arteries that were smooth, flexible, and clean, he said. Those who ate lots of meat and processed food, their arteries were clogged with plaque and calcium. That image stuck with him, and it changed the way he ate forever. From then on, Dr. Wareham's meals became a celebration of whole foods. A big bowl of whole grain cereal soaked in soy milk. Fresh fruits, especially berries, every morning. A handful of nuts, walnuts, almonds, and yes, even some salted peanuts. Beans, raw vegetables, whole grain toast with nut butter. No added sugar, just the natural sweetness of fruit and dried fruit. He believed that this way of eating helped him feel light, energized, and mentally sharp well into his 90s and 100s. Even at age 98, he was still gardening, driving, and climbing ladders around his home. Now, let's be clear. Dr. Wareham wasn't saying everyone has to go 100% vegan. But he was living proof that the more plants you eat and the fewer animal products you rely on, the healthier your heart and brain can be. And science is catching up. Plant-based diets are now known to lower blood pressure and cholesterol, reduce inflammation, protect against type 2 diabetes, improve cognitive function and memory, and most importantly, keep your arteries clean and blood flowing freely. I once worked with a gentleman named Joseph, 73, who had borderline high cholesterol and a family history of heart disease. He wasn't ready to give up meat entirely, and I didn't ask him to. Instead, we started small. one plant-based meal per day. He swapped bacon and eggs for oatmeal with berries. He added lentil soup instead of ham sandwiches. And for dinner twice a week, he made veggie stir-fries with tofu and brown rice. 3 months later, his doctor noticed real improvements in his blood work. But even better, Joseph felt lighter, more energetic, and slept better at night. "It's not just what I cut out," he told me. "It's what I added in." That's the key. Plant-based eating isn't about deprivation, it's about nourishment. Every time you add color to your platé, handful of spinach, a slice of avocado, a bowl of blueberries, you're giving your body fiber, vitamins, antioxidants, and heart protective compounds that simply aren't found in animal-based foods. And for people over 60, that can mean fewer medications, more independence, and a better quality of life. Dr. Wareham even reflected on his global experience. While traveling to perform surgeries across Asia, he noticed that heart disease was far less common in countries where people ate mostly rice, vegetables, and legumes. The connection was clear. Diet matters. And plants protect. So if you're curious about making a change, start where you are. Add one fully plant-based meal per day. Explore lentils, beans, quinoa, sweet potatoes, and leafy greens. Snack on fruit and nuts instead of sweets. Try dairy-free milk with your cereal. And slowly crowd out the processed, salty, or heavy animal products. You don't need to be perfect, but every plant you put on your plate is a step toward a cleaner bloodstream, a calmer heart, and a sharper mind. Because when you eat from the earth, you give your heart what it was designed to run on. Clean fuel, rich in life and love. Water, the unsung hero of heart health. If you asked most people what they do to take care of their heart, they might mention walking, cutting back on salt, or eating less fat, but few would think to say, "I drink water." And yet, according to Dr. Ellsworth Wareham, this is one of the simplest and most important daily habits for maintaining a healthy heart, especially after 60. Dr. Wareham believed in keeping things simple, and for him, hydration wasn't just a recommendation, it was a non-negotiable part of daily life. He drank at least 6 glasses of water every day, often more, and always started his morning with 2 full glasses right after waking. "I don't wait until I'm thirsty," he once said, "because by then, your body's already behind." As we age, our body's thirst signal becomes less reliable. Many older adults drink less not because they want to, but because they don't feel the urge. And over time, this mild dehydration can quietly take a toll on the heart. Think about it. Your blood is mostly water. When you're even slightly dehydrated, your blood thickens. That means your heart has to pump harder to move it through your arteries. And for an aging heart, that extra strain adds up. Staying hydrated helps. Lower blood pressure, keep circulation flowing smoothly, reduce the risk of blood clots, support kidney and liver function, and even improve mental clarity and focus. Dr. Wareham had a simple rule for staying on track. Every time he passed a drinking fountain, he stopped to take a sip. Whether he was walking through a hospital, a park, or an airport, he used that moment as a reminder. Hydrate now. Thank yourself later. I remember one patient named Susan, 70, who suffered from frequent fatigue, dry mouth, and occasional dizziness. Her medications were stable, her blood work looked okay, and her diet was pretty balanced. But after reviewing her habits, I discovered something telling. She was drinking less than 2 glasses of water a day. We worked together to create a gentle hydration plan. A glass of water first thing in the morning, another mid-morning, one before lunch, one mid-afternoon, one with dinner, and one after her evening walk. The change was subtle but steady. Within 2 weeks, her energy improved. Her lightheadedness faded. Even her skin looked healthier. Dr. Wareham wasn't big on fancy supplements or expensive treatments, but he believed strongly in making hydration a habit, not an afterthought. He also believed in keeping it clean and simple. Aside from orange juice in the morning, he didn't drink sodas, sugary drinks, or even caffeinated beverages in his later years. For him, water and whole foods were enough. So what can you do today? Start your morning with a full glass of water before anything else. Keep a water bottle nearby as a visual cue. Set small reminders to sip throughout the day. If plain water feels boring, try adding lemon slices or cucumber. And remember, don't wait to feel thirsty. Drink steadily and consistently. Your heart is a tireless organ, working for you every minute of every day. Giving it enough water is one of the kindest things you can do. And just like a car engine runs better with clean oil, your body runs better and longer with proper hydration. So the next time you reach for a glass of water, pause and smile. That small act, it's not just refreshing, it's a form of love. Closing, a stronger heart, one day at a time. You've made it to the end of this journey, and what a powerful journey it's been. We've explored the real-life habits of 3 extraordinary heart surgeons who didn't just extend the lives of their patients, but modeled how to extend their own with grace, strength, and deep intentionality. What did they have in common? Not magic pills, not perfect genes, not expensive treatments. Instead, they practiced simple, consistent, life-giving habits, starting each day with warm water, gentle movement, a nourishing breakfast, and a smile. They walked daily. They managed stress with laughter and purpose. They chose foods that nurtured, not taxed their hearts. And they honored their bodies with enough sleep, hydration, and care. Most of all, they believed this one truth: how you live each day shapes how well and how long you'll live. So what does that mean for you? It means you don't have to overhaul your life. You don't have to be perfect. And you certainly don't have to go it alone. All it takes is a few small, loving decisions, one day at a time. Drink that morning glass of water. Stretch for 5 minutes when you wake up. Go for a slow walk and enjoy the air. Choose oatmeal over donuts, berries over bagels. Smile at yourself. Laugh out loud. And most of all, keep showing up for yourself. You don't need to chase youth. You need to honor the life you have right here, right now. Because your heart still wants to serve you. Your body still wants to be listened to. And your story? It's still being written. At Healthy Aging Bites, we believe aging isn't about slowing down. It's about waking up with clarity, with kindness, and with courage. It's about embracing your years with pride and making choices that help you live them well. So if you found value in this video, if any part of it touched you, inspired you, or gave you hope, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to Healthy Aging Bites for more insights, inspiration, and practical tools to help you live fully after 60. Your support helps us continue to create thoughtful, high-quality content just for you and the entire healthy aging community. We're honored to be on this journey with you. Until next time, take a deep breath, take a kind step, and take care of your beautiful heart.